Hi, I'm Kai. I'm going to do the question 1 of homework 4 for probability and stochastic processes. Question 1, we have this y is equal to gx function, and we need to find and draw the density function and the distribution function of y in terms of the density function and distribution of x. First, from the gx function, we can see that y is between -1 and 2, so the distribution function of y, when y is greater than 2, it will be 1. When y is less than -1, it will be 0. And then for y is equal to -1, from the gx function, we have we know that the probability of y is -1 is the probability of x is greater than 2, and this term will be 1 minus capital X of 2. So the distribution function can be revised as the probability of y is less than -1 plus the probability of y is -1, and this term is 0, and this term is 1 minus capital S of 2. So the final result is 1 minus capital S of 2. And then if y is between -1 and 0, from the gx function, we have y is equal to negative x plus 1. So the density function in the density so the distribution function, we can rewrite y as minus x plus 1 is less than or equal to y, and this term is the probability of x is larger than or equal to 1 minus y, and this term is 1 minus the capital X of 1 minus y. And then for y is equal to 0, from the gx function, we know the probability of y is equal to 0 is the probability of x is between 0 and 1. And this probability, we can rewrite it as the big capital X of 1 minus big capital S of 0. So the distribution function of y can be revised as the probability of y is less than 0 plus y. The probability of y is 0. And this term, we can calculate this term from the 2 and 3. And the first one, the probability y is -1 is 1 minus big F capital F X of 2, and we can calculate this term from 3, so it will be 1 minus capital F X of 1 minus 1 minus capital F X of 2, and this term will be capital Fx1 minus capital Fx of 0. So the final result will be 1 minus capital Fx of 0. And then for the y is equal to 2, from the gx function, we have the probability of y is equal to 2 is the probability of x is less than 0. So it will be the big capital Fx of 0. So now we can write down our density, we can write down our distribution function of y. It will be 0 when y is less than -1, and it will be 1 minus big capital Fx of 2 when y is equal to -1, and it will be 1 minus capital Fx of 1 minus y when y is between -1 and 0, and it will be 1 minus big capital Fx of 0 when y is between 0 and 2, and it will be 1 when y is larger than or equal to 2. And then we can draw our distribution function of y. So and then from the distribution function we can get our density function of y. We know that we will have 3 impulses in the density function. The first one is when y is equal to -1, and it will be an impulse. And the second one is when y is equal to 0. It is the second impulse. And the last impulse is when y is equal to 2. So it will be the last impulse. And when y is between -1 and 0, we take derivative of the distribution function, and we will get our density function when y is between -1 and 0. And it will be 0 when y is other value. And then we can draw our density function. We have 3 impulses in -1, 0, and 2, and Fx of 1 minus x in -1 and 0.